Welcome, and thank you for joining me as we take a closer look into the Kingland platform. In this video, we're going to be diving deeper into Kingland's text analytics capabilities. Our use case leverages data extracted from Securities and Exchange Commission or SEC filings. This is used for downstream operations, data management, and analytics purposes. A wealth of entity and financial instrument data is buried within SEC filings in unstructured form, and this video will show how Kingland's text analytic capabilities are well suited to accurately extract data from the unstructured filings. The text analytics examples we'll be taking a look at today center around extracting data out of mutual fund prospectus filings with the SEC. We will be looking at a variety of mutual fund data attribute extraction examples from PIMCO and BlackRock funds. In this first example, we're going to take a look at the data extraction results for the portfolio turnover rate attribute for PIMCO Ray Fundamental Emerging Markets Fund. For extracting this attribute, natural language processing, or NLP, and basic phrase and pattern matching is leveraged to find the value for portfolio turnover rate within the sentence. The value of 28% will be extracted from this sentence, and important to note, as we look at the document, that this data attribute value is indeed tied to PIMCO Ray Fundamental Emerging Markets Fund, as PIMCO will combine information for several mutual funds into one document, requiring the Kingland text analytics capabilities to pre-process the large document into sections. As we take a final look at the portfolio turnover rate sentence structure and attribute Kingland has found through analysis, this type of sentence structure for this attribute is very consistently presented across funds and fund families, hence the successful leverage of a more basic pattern matching approach within NLP for extracting this data attribute. Our next example takes a look at BlackRock Natural Resources Trust Fund and the LOI fulfillment period data attribute. Extracting this data attribute and the value of 13 months again leverages NLP for processing the sentence and extracting the relevant attribute. But this sentence structure is more complex than the portfolio turnover rate attribute example from before. Here, we use an approach that leverages tree-based language templates, where we configure a sentence template that generically represents how this LOI fulfillment period attribute is represented in sentences and provides enough configurability and variability for accommodating fluctuation in how this attribute can be documented across funds and fund families. Kingland's text analytics highlights the relevant section where the attribute is found, and the value of 13 months is extracted for downstream structured data management. We'll now take a look at the PIMCO Dividend and Income Fund and the total annual operating expenses data attribute, where our first couple of examples focused on NLP processing to extract a data attribute. The total annual operating expenses data is presented in table form, requiring a different form of text analytics processing. When encountering tables, our Kingland text analytics capabilities have to infer the structure of the table in row and column format. And once inferred, the table is processed cell by cell, with language processing deriving context from what has been processed in previous cells, allowing us to extract the correct value from the correct row and column. In this example, we are after the total annual operating expenses for the Class A issue of this fund, and hence the 1.21% value for extraction. As we scroll up again, we can see that this table of data is indeed tied to the correct PIMCO Dividend and Income Fund, representing the successful document sectioning pre-processing that has previously occurred. In fully combining NLP and table processing, we're going to take a look at the BlackRock Natural Resources Trust Fund and the automatic investment eligible data attribute. Here we see that the attribute is mentioned within a sentence in a cell of a table. Even more challenging is that for the automatic investment eligible attribute, we're looking for a yes/no type of value. For this, we have to again leverage NLP and tree-based language templates, this time within the table that we've processed on a cell-by-cell basis, and then from an NLP perspective. Underlying word vectorization is leveraged to understand that allows has some similarity in meaning to yes, at least certainly much more than it has similarity to no. Since processing of the language discovers similarity to yes, and the sentence structure additionally includes phrasing of systematic investments, we are able to successfully extract yes for this important data attribute. Our final example examines an attribute extraction example that, while correct, could be more precise. For this example, we're looking at BlackRock Real Estate Securities Fund and the date of most recent prospectus or SAI supplement attribute. We're after the November 30th, 2018 date value for this attribute, but as you can see in the document view, our text analytics highlighting of the section evidence is a little too broad. To capture the metadata for training this process to continuously improve, we can execute what's called a re-highlighting process that informs the back-end text analytics engine that there is a more precise section where this date value is found. This provides an important correction for improving data extraction methods in the future. We hope you have enjoyed this walkthrough of specific data extraction examples leveraging Kingland's text analytics capabilities, and we invite you to stay in touch with us as we release new text analytics capabilities for data management use cases in the months to come.